Coming up, we're talking West Virginia, Oklahoma. The Big 12 doesn't have a championship game, but we could have the makings of one this weekend in Norman. Number 21 West Virginia heads to Sooners country to face number 14 Oklahoma. You're watching Scout Battleground. I'm Amy Campbell, joined by Scout Managing Editor Scott Kennedy. And Scott, we have two air raid offenses here, but this West Virginia defense quietly improving year after year. But this is their first real test. Can they hang with the Sooners?
Yeah, you'd like to think that Maryland was going to be a better test for them, but Maryland wasn't very good. And I don't know if Maryland is as bad as West Virginia made them look. West Virginia looks pretty good to me. But yeah, we're going to learn a lot more about the Mountaineers. And for that matter, we're going to learn a lot more about Oklahoma this weekend, too. Should be a good matchup. Yeah,
a lot to keep an eye on in this one. And with that, we will now head out to Morgantown and check in with our guy, Kevin Kinder of Blue Gold News. Kevin, Sooners running back Samaje Perine ran all over the Mountaineers last year, 240 yards, 4 touchdowns. But can this improved defense stop this guy?
Well, that's what we're going to see. I know that West Virginia did make a lot of schematic changes last year to play better against the run. Those yielded some really good results against some strong running teams like Kansas State, and also this year in the opener against Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern's a great running team option attack. West Virginia shut it down. But as you said, the talent level at Oklahoma is a whole other level. It really should be an interesting matchup.
Well, Kevin, we talked a little bit beforehand about how you didn't think this was a great matchup for West Virginia. Where are you most concerned against offense, defense, defense, offense?
A little bit on the speed. Oklahoma just, I think, has better team speed overall. West Virginia has it in spots. Pass rush, Oklahoma against West Virginia's offensive line is a theme we're going to be looking at all week on BlueGoldNews.com. How West Virginia's tackles and edge protectors protect against the fast Sooner pass rush on the edge. So those are a couple of places West Virginia has to at least get a stalemate, I think, in order to have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, lots to watch in this one. Kevin, thanks for the insight.
Thanks.
So, Scott, interesting thing here with both of these quarterbacks, and I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, because for Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield, he's a walk-on, and over at West Virginia, Skylar Howard had offers from, nobody. How did you miss on both of these guys?
He had an offer from UNC, Northern Colorado.
Okay, excuse me.
You know what I say all along is the rankings are a form of height, weight, strength, speed, all this kind of stuff. And this guy might not have had quite a strong enough arm, might have been a little too short. But what I tell every parent and every kid out there is don't let anybody tell you no. Because, yeah, the odds are against you. You might be a 5'10 kid who's not all that big, but don't let them tell you no. Go walk on and go earn it. If you believe in yourself, go earn it. And that's what these guys both did. And the thing that impressed me the most about watching Skylar Howard, he's tough. A.J. Hendy about killed him in the first quarter against Maryland. Hit him a little late out of bounds and bounced him off the turf. And he popped right back up, led his team to a touchdown, and then they went and blew him out. So he's got some mental fortitude that you need in order to overcome some of your physical limitations.
Well, I know we've already talked a little bit about Baker Mayfield as well, but this guy just seems to have that it factor. He's got that swagger. The team is behind him. What do you think about his journey so far?
There's the word. It's the swagger. He believes in himself, and they're both tough. That's the thing about him is they are both tough, and that's something that you can't measure. And I like to say they say you can't measure somebody's heart, but you can sure tell if he's got one or not. These guys both have heart.
Oh, it'll sure be fun to watch them go at it this weekend. And with that, let's head out to Norman and talk with Bob Przybyla of Sooners Illustrated. Bob, this Mountaineers defense is no joke. They're number 1 in the nation in scoring defense. How do you see the Sooners stacking up there?
Boy, it's strength against strength. When you talk about the Sooners, it's all about the offense, all about Baker Mayfield. He's played 2 home games, and he's set records in both of them. But this is the best defense the Sooners have played this season, and it might end up being the best one they played during the entire season. With that secondary, with Carl Joseph, with Daryl Worley. And the thing with Worley, he was suspended for this game last year. So the Sooners were able to pick on his replacement last year. He wants to make amends for what happened last year. It's going to be an interesting test seeing that secondary against what OU likes to do in the passing game.
Now, Bob, you mentioned secondary and defense. I'm concerned about Oklahoma's secondary and defense. We just watched Tulsa, and there were some strange things that happened in that game, but still, 600 yards is 600 yards. What is Oklahoma doing to make some adjustments in order to get better on defense?
No, you're not wrong about that, Scott. Talking to all the secondary guys they've mentioned, what a learning process that game was. What a teaching moment it really was. The biggest thing that should help the Sooners going into this weekend is that Jordan Thomas will be back at starting cornerback. He was someone who was suspended for the Tulsa game because of something he did off the field. The coaches are hoping that message has finally been sent to him and it's finally been received that he has to take care of his business on and off the field. With Jordan Thomas back in the lineup, that gives the Sooner secondary everyone that they need to try to go against this West Virginia offense.
We'll certainly be watching this weekend. Thanks for the time, Bob.
Appreciate the time, guys.
All right, so Scott, we talked a lot about a lot of different concepts in this game. What are you looking for and who are you taking?
Well, I like Oklahoma, so we'll just get that part out of the way first. And the reason why, and I'm not confident about this pick because West Virginia's looked terrific. You know, Kevin kind of shook his head when I asked him before. We said, you know, how's it look? He's like, I don't know. But they look great. And Skylar Howard's a leader. They got Russell Shell at running back, so they've got some talent. The defense is playing well. But I really feel like Oklahoma turned the corner in the fourth quarter of that Tennessee game, and Baker Mayfield basically said, this is my team now. Because we could have seen that. They could have careened right off the edge. If that kept going where they're down 14-17, I forgot what it was, 17-3. They hadn't crossed in midfield in the entire second half. That season could have spiraled out of control. Instead, they have a huge win, and they've got momentum again. And I think at home against an untested, for the most part, West Virginia team, I like Oklahoma, but I think it's going to be a really good game. I think the line's about 7.5. I think it's going to be close. It's almost a pick 'em in my book.
Oh, yeah, I think it'll be close. I'm looking at two things. I'm looking at turnovers, and I'm looking at Samaje Perine, Oklahoma running back. I think he could be a difference maker in this one, but I think it's going to be close. I'm not going to bet against the home team, though. I'm taking Oklahoma in this one. Should be a good one there in Norman. That's it for us here at Scout Battleground. For Scott Kennedy, I'm Amy Campbell. See you next time.